Hello, welcome back to Warrior Wednesday with Johnny Tiger on December 29, 2021. Now, I know Tactical Tuesday is missing and so is Music Monday. Now, this Warrior Wednesday obviously is a make-up video for Tactical Tuesday. And Music Monday will be coming. For the first time, this was late intentionally because we want to wait until New Year's Eve to sing you guys a song. So that's why Music Monday is late. So as you guys can see, I got something very ordinary in my hand, an umbrella. This is an ordinary, boring old umbrella. I figured that a couple of episodes ago on Wisdom Wednesday, we talked about uh, the legend and origin of the metal umbrella and how some umbrellas during the Second World War were weaponized for different purposes. So why not do an episode just on umbrella-based self-defense? Now, first, before we go into any technical stuff, let me say that I do not recommend you to go and buy a weaponized umbrella, an umbrella that got a dagger in the handle or a super sharp tip or something like this. The reason being, an umbrella is a sort of one of those everyday tool that you might not carry with you every day, which means you might not always remember that you have a weaponized umbrella on you, unless that is the only umbrella you own, then you always know. But the point is, the moment you run into a policeman, if that policeman can tell right away that you got a weaponized umbrella, he or she may shoot you or taser you because you are essentially carrying a very lethal concealed weapon. Okay, so that is one big concern with weaponized umbrella for civilian use. Be very careful with that. A couple of years ago, here in Vancouver, there was a gentleman who was mentally challenged. I think he either that or he was got Asperger syndrome or autistic. Anyway, this gentleman went online and bought one of these novelty umbrella that looked like an assault rifle. That's it. It's not a real weapon. It just looks like an assault rifle. And then he ended up getting shot by police because they thought he was carrying a real gun on his back. And when they stopped him, he tried to take it off his back to show them that, oh, hey, it's just an umbrella. Well, that made the policeman really jumpy, and they shot the gentleman. So that's very tragic when things like that happen. Uh, This is why sometimes you got to really think about, okay, would it be cool to have a samurai sword in your umbrella? Sure, it would be really cool until a policeman takes you seriously and then shoots you dead before you can explain that this is just a toy. Um, Secondly, an umbrella is in some ways very ineffective because it's mostly made to stop rain, not people. Secondly, it's made to be very light, which means the material not always the best. This is the same thing I talked about with regarding to blind people should not count on their white cane for self-defense. Because when you count on your white cane for self-defense, you're counting on an item that is made to be light and easy to carry and something that is mostly hollow inside, which means you hit someone with it, most likely it will hurt, but only enough to piss the person off, not going to stop the person. Umbrella, if you don't know how to use it, you're going to have the same problem. Uh, However, there has been cases where umbrellas become a lot more useful than people give them credit for. I'll give you guys an example from a very famous case. You can Google this. Uh, a handful of years ago, I think this was about 8 years ago, in Taipei, Taiwan, there was a young man who went crazy on the subway, and he started stabbing people with a knife. He just went on the subway and went into a killing streak. Right? He stabbed left and right and cut someone's throat. I believe in the end he killed like 7 people before they were able to stop him. How they were able to stop him was a bunch of passengers used their umbrella to force him into a corner and pin him there with the umbrella. A bunch of them with umbrellas just got him stuck in the corner and kept him there until the police arrived. So if you know what you're doing with the umbrella, or if you're in a group of people that have an umbrella, it suddenly becomes very, very useful as a tool. So today, I'm here to give you guys a few ideas on how to make this ordinary and not very sturdy, not very strong tool into something more useful if you need to rely on it. Okay. Here's another little trivia. In the old days, Chinese people, those that travel the forest and mountain a lot, carry umbrella with them so they could stop wolves. How is it that you can stop a wolf with an umbrella? Well, the way it was told to people, to travelers, was wolves by nature are very suspicious. They're very cautious animal. So when you see wolves surrounding you, don't panic because if you run, they'll chase you down. What you want to do, you hold your umbrella and move very, very slowly and keep your eye on them and try to keep your eyes on all of them. Don't let them circle behind you. And you want to crouch down, right? Crouch down, and then suddenly you want to stand up and then boom, open your umbrella like that. It was said that the motion of doing that alone uh, would make the wolf run away because they never seen anything that can suddenly expand like that. Yeah, I know this umbrella is a little bit broken, but that's it's a really old umbrella, so no worry there. Anyway, I have a lot of umbrellas here at the house. I personally don't like to carry them, but sometimes the friends come over and it's raining outside, they might need one and stuff like that. But personally, I don't like to carry umbrella because being a blind person, I mentioned this already. Already have to carry a cane or, in some blind people's case, use a guide dog. So it's a pain to have the other hand occupied by an umbrella. However, umbrella, in addition to being able to use for stopping the rain, wind, and sun, longer umbrella like this also provide a very nice little handy walking support cane for people that might have lower back problem, leg problem, uh, situations like that. Even for people who can work perfectly fine, sometimes if you have to stand at the bus stop for a long time, it's just kind of comfortable to be able to lean on something like this. Put it to the ground, put the point to the ground, and just lean your weight on it a little bit. And that's kind of nice. So it is a good supporting tool. Now, enough of that. Let's talk about umbrella for self-defense. There has been several Chinese martial art manuals that talk about using umbrellas in combat or in self-defense. Let me rephrase that: in self-defense, not in combat, because if you really show up for combat armed with an umbrella, then you kind of deserve to get killed. That's a silly thing to do. But for self-defense, because sometimes that's all you have. First, we got to understand what is an umbrella. I mean, we know what's in the umbrella, but I'm talking about in weapons when in relation to martial art and weapons. An umbrella, it's kind of like a stick, but it's not a stick because it's not a very good bludgeoning tool. It's generally very flexible. This thing kind of it's metal, but it's very flexible. The frame is very flexible. You hit someone, it's going to bounce, right? I can hit my arm as hard as I want with this. I can, I'm not going to do it, but because I got my headset on, but I can actually hit myself on the head with this really hard. And all that does is make me angry, right? So it's like a stick, but it's not a stick. Very important to remember that, because some people, their first intention, their first instinct is to, I can use my stick fighting technique with this. No, you can't. Not really. Um, Also, most of your umbrella, when it's closed, is padded. Right? This material is has kind of padding, give it kind of padding around it, which means if you use like a stick, not very effective at all. Okay, unless you can get someone across the face. Yeah, if you can get them across the face, this can definitely be detrimental to their health. But most likely, you are not going to be very effective using this as a stick. An umbrella is also kind of like a spear. At least umbrellas like this one that has a point on it, right? Those people that practice spear fighting or javelin or swordsmanship, they can think, I can use this like a spear. Not quite. Again, because the point, while there's a point on it, it's not very sharp. It's usually very dull. You can probably try to sharpen it at home, but I don't recommend it. Like I said, you got to worry about running into policemen that give you trouble about that. Uh, so yes, you can do a lot of stabby things with it, but it doesn't function quite like a spear. Some people say, oh, it's kind of like a hook. Yeah? You got a hooked handle like this one. Some of them don't, but this is one I have that has a hook handle. It's like a hook, but it doesn't have a blade. It doesn't have a pointed hook, which means it doesn't matter what kind of hook sword Chinese martial art you know. This is going to be just subpar when you try to use it like a hook or a hook sword or anything like that. Okay? So an umbrella essentially it's kind of like a lot of things, but it's not. It's not those things. You got to remember that when you start using umbrella for self-defense, because otherwise you will have expectation that the umbrella cannot fulfill, and you will end up getting hurt yourself. Right? What is the umbrella good for? It's mostly good for very defensive applications. And no, I do not recommend you open your umbrella unless there's a very good reason why you want to. Like you open it and you pin someone against the wall to stop them from stabbing you or something like that. But when you open an umbrella, you're weakening the structure of the whole thing, and also you make it very clumsy for you yourself to use. So when you open the umbrella, you reduce the effectiveness of this tool. So the only time you would open an umbrella is to use it like a shield or to use it as a blockade. And you got to remember, it's not a shield, it's not a blockade, it's not very strong when it's open. Okay, so uh, mostly I don't recommend using it like a shield. So what do I mean by defensive application? For example, if I'm in a fight and I need to do some kind of maneuver where I might not have very good balance, the umbrella create a additional support to the ground where it gives me leverage to kick, leverage to step around. It gives me a chance to stick this between the person's leg as I move so they can have a harder time pursuing me. Okay, so it's a good um, additional support, leverage, and tripping equipment uh, for that purpose. Also, a longer umbrella like the one I have here that have a hooked handle, you can use it as a forearm support for blocking. Let's say someone come at me with a knife. Let me grab one right here. I always have knives handy. Someone come at me with a knife like this, right? I don't have anything on me but a silly umbrella. Well, there's two things I can do. One, I got to remember my umbrella have way more reach than his knife. Okay, so that gave me a bit of an advantage. But it's so much easier for him to kill me with a knife than for me to hurt him with an umbrella. So that kind of even out the playing field too. Uh, but keep in mind, the umbrella is great for establishing range. Right? I don't care what kind of a person it is. If you take this umbrella, you're constantly jabbing at the eyes, at the face, right? They are going to try to shy away from that, and they're not going to walk into it. So it's a great way to keep the person away from you. You just have to be very careful they don't grab it. They don't grab your umbrella. The second way to use this, like I said, the forearm brace, is to grab the I'm grabbing the hook in my fist and laying the umbrella across over parallel to my forearm like I would a dagger. In this case, this is just longer. I can grab it like this, or I can grab it midway this way. So I have a bit in the front to work with, and the back is angled across my arm. So if the person starts stabbing at me, cutting at me, I can meet it with the umbrella. Okay? I don't care what kind of knife they have, unless they have like a machete or a sword, it's not going to chop through my umbrella. Yeah, as long as I keep my umbrella closed. Umbrella closed is a whole bunch of metal struts tied together with fabric. Knife may cut through fabric. It's not going to cut through what's inside. So I'm very safe as long as I have this bracing my forearm. This is a miniature shield defense. Now, if if I feel the need for using my umbrella for offensive purpose, because we can't just stay on defense if we're getting attacked. We have to either make them drop their weapon or make them run away, so they don't want to fight anymore. Okay, I don't want to grab this umbrella in the and swing the full length of this like a baseball bat or anything like that. First, I already mentioned material very weak, right? Not very strong, not very sturdy. Second, it's padded. Most of this is padded when it's folded up. So I'm going to utilize both ends of the umbrella by grabbing midpoint. Midpoint. Okay, I can choose to do a one-handed grab and hold it, point towards the person, the pointy end toward the person, my hand grabbing halfway down the shaft. So this gives me the additional reach I need to jab forward if I need to, or strike. We talked about its lousy striking tool, but remember, I say it's a lousy striking tool because it's weak and it's padded. Not the case of the handle. Okay, most modern umbrellas have Ab's plastic handle. Some of them have wood handle, some have metal handle. The handle, strongest part of the umbrella. Uh, so if you want to strike, don't grab the handle and strike with the umbrella. Grab the umbrella and strike with the handle. Strike with the handle. When you strike with the handle, you want to aim for, and this is where the umbrella is a perfect thing for this because it's so light. It's very maneuverable. So if I'm striking with the handle, I go for the face and go for the arm. Face, arm, groin. Face, arm, groin. Okay, I don't even have to wind up. I just whip it. Face, down at the arm, down at the groin, and then I can reverse this and stab. Okay, you guys seen this already? When I'm reversing this, I'm not doing some fancy twirling in one hand. Okay, it's very uh, straight, very direct forward. This is where this is similar to axe fighting. If you look at the umbrella, especially a long umbrella, the length, the build is kind of like a very lightweight axe. Okay, so if I'm striking with the handle, remember, I'm holding on to midway, mid length. I'm striking, whipping the handle at the person, and I need to, if I suddenly want to stab with the other end, I'm not going to reverse grip. I'm just going to swing this around, pass it to my left hand, grab underhand with my right. Now I got a two-handed grip and stab. Right? Whip the handle, stab. Handle, stab. Handle, stab. Face with the handle, arm with the handle, stab to the face. Okay? My left hand is ready there to receive the umbrella when I want to change to a two-handed grip. From this two-handed grip, from this stabbing motion, I can again let go with my left hand and whip the handle at them again. Okay? So you can see, if you know what you're doing, or kind of know what you're doing, this is actually a very quick and efficient, a very balanced self-defense tool. It is a forearm shield. If you hold it like this, by the handle with the length, aim back along your forearm, or hold it midway, so you have a bit of blocking in the front, a blocking along your forearm. Okay, it is a good striking tool with the handle, right? With the handle, and it is a definitely good stabbing tool if you use both hands and give it the support you need by when you lunge, you drive it with your body. Don't just swing it with your hand. Okay, the point is not to stab the person to death. The point is to go for their face or go for their neck, go for something that they know is going to hurt, that's going to make them shy away from combat. Okay? It is a support tool, give you additional balance for kicking, okay? For stepping around the person, for tripping the person, putting this between the leg, or even for that very sneaky groin attack. If I have my umbrella down and the person coming at me, all I have to do is bring it up like this. Okay? That will basically get them right in the groin. Right? If I want to strike with the handle, I can also, if I'm stepping to the side, all I have to do is sweep this down and smack the handle right into the shin or the knee of the person, right? So that's an additional striking. We have face, striking down to the arm, strike up to the groin, step to the side, sweeping down for the ankle or shin. That's 4 points for you to attack with the handle of the umbrella. Now let's look at a different kind of umbrella. This here is the little one, the little short. I call this pocket size umbrella. You can essentially stick in your pocket or sleeve. A lot of ladies, a lot of travelers carry these nowadays. Now with this, your options are a lot more limited because it's short. Right? You can still do the forearm thing. You just don't have as much protection. So grab the handle, lay the umbrella back along your forearm like this. Sorry. Um, Obviously, with something like this, you lose the stabbing and the long reach. Okay, so something like this, however, still has the strong handle. So if you grab it in reverse, it's like a short stick. Sorry about that. Had a bit of a coughing fit coming on. I tried to hold it in. These umbrellas are kind of dusty. Like I said, I have not used them for a long time. So swinging them around and spinning them, just triggering my dust allergy a little bit. Don't worry, no COVID, just dust allergy. Mm. And I tried to find the pause button before I started coughing my lungs out. But anyway, um, so short umbrella. It is a smaller version of the forearm shield. Um, Still, it's better than nothing, and most knife will not cut through this. Uh, if you grab it in reverse and strike it with the handle, it is relatively useful as a very short stick and impact tool. Uh, but like I said, you lose the range, you lose the uh, um, ability to use it for balance, you lose the ability to strike down for someone's leg, and you lose a lot of leverage, and you definitely lose the stabbing capability. Um, so something like this, you have to be a little bit more depth at using it. Uh, this one doesn't even have a point on it, but it does have a pretty blunt, pretty flat, hard end on the opposite end of the handle. So even if I strike with the wrong end, if I can get the person on the knuckle with the flat end of the umbrella, this can still be very effective. Um, but needless to say, when you carry something this small and that is not built for self-defense to begin with, yeah, you're probably just better off not using it for self-defense because it's not totally uh, uh, effective. In the end, I want to mention this that I have mentioned many times before. If you're serious about your self-defense, if you're sitting there seriously thinking, I need something for self-defense, then please just get something that is made for self-defense. Don't spend a lot of hours trying to figure out how can I weaponize a broom? How can I weaponize an umbrella? How can I use a hockey stick for self-defense? They can all be done. That can all be done, but they are not made for that, and the chance of failing is very high. And when it comes to self-defense, we're talking about defending your property, your life, the life and health of those around you. So why would you trust it to something that it was not made for that purpose to begin with? Thank you for checking out today's Warrior Wednesday. I'll be back again later for Wisdom Wednesday. But now I got to run and get ready for class.